In an effort to unify and connect people on a deeper level,
we bring you a show that will feel more like family. We are your girls, the Dreamcatchers.
3 like-minded ladies
join forces to open up about our personal issues
and share stories
in the hopes that you feel a little bit less alone.
I'm Jessica, an Ohio-raised Midwest tomboy who isn't afraid to be honest about my struggles with anxiety or life in general.
I'm Nicole, California-raised and a mother of 2 darling little kids. When I'm not in PTA meetings, I love to talk about love, marriage, and family.
I'm Charlie, a UK wild child turned introspective free spirit. I've recruited my best girlies to create a show where we can encourage, empower, and hopefully entertain. Our goal is to inspire, challenge your perspective, and to together learn to love ourselves exactly the way we are and to live our lives out loud. Welcome to the Dreamcatchers.
Hello everybody and welcome to Dreamcatchers. You guys, we have such an amazing episode for you today. We are here with Mel Wells, who is a health and eating psychology coach. She's an author, she's an entrepreneur, she's gorgeous, she's a friend of Charlie's. Welcome. We're excited to have you here today.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Yay, of course.
She came all the way from London a couple of days ago, and then after this is going to Bali with her new man. So it's very exciting times.
To
Yes,
Bali,
it is.
man.
I actually moved out to Bali officially last year in September. I've been running retreats over there for the last couple of years.
Yeah, I was going to say, tell everyone like how come you went there and how it happened and all the synchronicity.
Yeah,
and...
so like the reason why Bali was calling me is really like my book is called The Goddess Revolution. Like the way I refer to my clients is goddesses. I feel like all women deserve to feel like goddesses. And Bali is the island of gods. That's what it's known as. That's what it's called. People go there to heal, to rejuvenate, to feel incredible. So I just had this calling to, not just to be in Bali, but to create these amazing retreats for women in Bali.
Yeah.
So I started doing that a couple of years ago, and then was back and forth, and then obviously getting better and better and better. Because I've created this business whereby like everything is online that I do anyway, like all my coaching, my clients, it's all online. So I was like, I could do this anywhere, so
Just
I'll
need
do
your
it
laptop.
in Bali.
Do your retreats cater to women who are also trying to recover from eating disorders and everything?
Yeah, so my retreats, so like every woman that I work with is either someone that's struggled with their relationship with food in some way, whereby like maybe someone that's just like been on and off diets her whole life, or like someone that's
So like every
recovered.
woman?
Yeah, right.
For
So,
most,
like,
yes.
Or like, I work with a lot of women that have had eating disorders or are going through disordered eating patterns, women that get like obsessed with calorie counting or over exercising, and then women that are just like, addicted to kind of using food as
Coping mechanisms or
comfort,
like a drug.
emotional eating, like a drug for sure. And like all these things I've been through myself. So like all these things I get.
Yeah. Well, that's how we bonded. We don't still know how we ended up as friends on Facebook, but how we actually initially bonded the first night we met was because I used to have an eating disorder very similar. Do you remember we were exchanging our process of what happened and then how it suddenly it sneaks up on you. You don't think you have an issue to start with because you just think you're
Managing
just
your
in
weight.
denial and you're managing it.
Yeah.
You don't accept that you have bulimia. And I, for years, the whole time was like, I don't have bulimia. I'm just lazy. I just put I just am sick when I can't be bothered to do exercise.
Right.
And we were sharing all our things, and it's so interesting how when you say it out loud, first of all, it's so liberating. Oh, it feels so good. And that actually there's so many similarities with what you go through. So
so many women are affected by it, and like literally every single person. Like I just did this massive speaking event in London, and I had like maybe 400 people, and I said, raise your hand if you or someone that you know has been affected by an eating disorder, and every single hand was raised.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's something that everyone knows is going on, but it's still something that is like a secret and a dirty thing, and people that hide it away. And
There's so much shame.
There's
so
so
much
much
shame.
It's like any
Exactly.
addiction. There's
Because
always
it's an addiction.
shame.
People don't say it because it's not a representation of them. So the reason they keep it secretive is, for me personally, I was like, but it doesn't represent who people think I am, because I know that I come across as confident and okay and all this stuff. So I didn't want to say it because I was thinking people were going to be like, well, that's not very Charlie. So it didn't correlate to who I think I am or who I thought I was. So that's why I kept it secret, and I'm sure other people do it for that reason too.
And that's really like, I think why the book has done so well, because it's like having those conversations that people are too scared to say in front of other people, and all these thoughts and feelings that all these women are having about food, about their weight, about their bodies every day, and just not speaking about it because it feels like, I can't say that.
It becomes so normal because everyone around you, for instance, at school, if everyone's doing it, to start with,
Yeah.
you're like, oh, that's weird. I was like, oh, she's got bulimia. What's bulimia? I remember asking that.
It was like, yeah.
And I was like, that, you know, there was this girl.
Because
And
you were
then
taught, weren't you?
I was, and like someone showed me actually at school, someone was like, we're all doing it. Like, do you want me to show you how to do it?
It is that pressure of like, well, it's just normal here, and
I have to be thin.
I have to be thin. I feel like that was connected in my mind. I associated thin with successful, thin, and because I'm tall, like I was on this TV show, and I was definitely like
When you were an
appearing on
actress.
screen- when I was an actress, yeah, I was definitely like appearing on screen as I would look and I'd be like, I look so much bigger than everyone else on screen. That's my height.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
That's my
Yes,
freaking
yes.
height. And
Of
like
course.
my
It's got
shoulders,
your head.
right?
Right.
In my head, I'm like 18 years old, and I'm
yeah.
like, oh my god, I'm huge. I need to lose weight. Right?
Explain a little bit about all the viewers and these guys, how you started this whole goddess revolution.
Yeah,
Is about
yeah.
self-acceptance and love, which is why you're on the show, is because this is all about that. So we'd love to hear your insight into how you have managed to become more and more self-loving and accepting along the way.
So my journey into self-love really started with a conversation with my ex about having a family, and I actually for the first time in my life was thinking about how it would feel to be a mum. And I was in this, I would say like I was towards the end of like a 7-year eating disorder, bulimia, and was just like,
Wow.
it was still
Yeah.
very much like a dirty secret, and the first thing that comes into my head is like, my weight, my body, shit, how am I gonna lose that baby weight? What, I'm gonna get massive. I've got 9 months. I'm just gonna binge for 9
And
months.
you have to,
And then I've
feed
got to
your
lose
baby,
it afterwards with all this pressure to like get into my jeans afterwards. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna like do a juice cleanse for like 30 days as soon as I've had the baby. And I was thinking like, and the first thing that came to my head was like, I can't believe that is the first thing that I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like, I've spent all these years trying to control my weight. If I have a baby, I can't control that weight. And I felt like, oh my god, this is out of control, right? And then I was like, wow, this shit needs to end now.
Good for you.
And
Yeah,
I was
no
like, I
kidding.
knew in my heart and soul that like being a mom was so important to me, so important. And I was like, if I'm gonna grow a child, how am I, like a baby deserves to grow in a body that is filled with
Healthy.
love and health and nourishment. Yeah, I was eating kale salads and, you know, freaking drinking green juice, but I was killing myself at the gym.
Yeah.
I was weighing myself every day. It was not a loving environment.
Your
right?
head was a mess.
My head was not
Yeah.
healthy, right? The second thing I thought was like, well, what if I have a little girl or boy and they grew up and I'm still in this battle and they think it's normal and they start copying me.
Yep.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
like, what
'cause
if I
that's how
have a
it
little
starts,
girl
yeah.
that starts like poking her body in the mirror,
Yeah.
you know, saying that she needs to skip dinner, and like what if I'm serving dinner to my kids and then I'm having a shake? That's not a
Yeah.
good role model.
Right.
So I was like, this shit needs to end if I want to be
Good
a
for
good
you.
mom.
Definitely. Yeah.
I remember like going up to the bathroom, and at the time like as well, because of like bulimia, I'd like, not only was I vomiting a lot, but I was also addicted to laxatives, and so like,
Oh wow,
I
so
was
double
like-
whammy.
yeah, so I was like, okay, so I need to create a healthy environment if I'm gonna conceive a baby. So I kind of made a moment of commitment to myself, like a vow almost. I was like, if you can do a whole year of not dieting, not weighing yourself, just eating intuitively, no controlling, no restricting, let your body do whatever it wants and love it, and love it regardless. Like if you gain 10 pounds, who gives a shit?
Right.
You'll be a better mum for it.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm just gonna let my body do what it wants. If I can do this for a year, and it was fucking terrifying, right? Because I was so attached to my scales that I was taking them on holiday with me.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my
Like you were
God.
packing them in your
I was
luggage
packing them in my
traveling.
suitcase.
And like I feel like a lot of women, if not all, go through this either they
Some
don't
capacity,
to some
on some
capacity.
level,
It's
yeah.
either I hate my body, I don't know how to change it, or I'm gonna change it, but it's going to be
And this
to the
is-
extreme.
yeah.
So how
And
did
this
you
is a huge
overcome?
problem. So like,
How did
this
you
is,
start
like,
reinforcing the good messages to yourself and like the?
It was a massive journey, but like the main thing was just, what if I was just friends with my body? My body has one job, to be healthy and to get me
To keep
from
you
the
alive.
start to keep me alive to
Yeah.
the end, right?
To have all your experiences and have a good
right,
life.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like, why would my body be against me? In my head, I'm like, I'm trying to fight against my body. It was a war. It was a battle. It was like
Yeah.
my body's
It's
not doing what I want it
exhausting.
to.
Right.
Yeah.
I was against
treating it as if it's separate from you and like
I
this
was
thing.
Why? I just had this moment of like, this is my home. I don't get to swap her with anyone else, right? This is my one home. So why would I choose to create all this suffering in my home? It's really important that we realize that when you have a dysfunctional relationship with food in any way, what it really is, and this is what my second book is about, your relationship with food is really just your relationship with yourself, right? Just
'Cause
like
it's
your
all
relationship with
a byproduct
alcohol,
of really the-
like
yeah,
money, like all this stuff is just a reflection of how you feel about yourself, right? So we're living in this world where, you know, we're taught from a young age that like smaller equals happier or prettier equals
In our
more
culture, yeah.
successful,
Or most aesthetically pleasing,
most
which then you get the
aesthetically
man
pleasing,
and the success.
thinner, you know, and so it's like we're bombarded with it. But I definitely feel like there's a massive movement at the
There is,
moment
yeah.
whereby it's just like, women, just get over it and just love yourselves now.
And everyone
like,
looks
just,
different. Not
everyone
everyone-
looks,
yeah.
isn't it just absolutely magic that
yeah.
there's 7 billion people on this planet and every single one of us is completely different. How
Completely
magic is
And
that?
beauty really
Yeah,
is in
we're
the eye
all
of the
trying to look
beholder.
like each
What's
other.
beautiful to some
We're all
person,
trying to
yeah.
change our face
Yep.
to look like someone else.
Because we spend so much time consumed and concerned with other people and other people's social media and comparisons, we are not spending enough time feeling what we're feeling and really in connecting with ourselves. And that's where I think it goes wrong, is that if we were always in touch with ourselves, I think we'd make a lot better decisions for our bodies all the time.
A lot of people are just in their heads and
Totally.
they're not
And
in
in
their
society.
bodies.
That's what I mean,
You know,
exactly.
So like a lot of it
Same
is about
thing.
like getting out of your head and into your body. Like
Right.
how, like a lot of people that I work with like genuinely don't know how different food makes them feel. They don't know what hunger feels like. They don't know what full
Right.
feels like. They don't know, right? Because they're just
They're
so
so
used to just being on autopilot.
Right.
So like it's a real like process of like, are
Understand.
you connected with from the head down?
Listen.
Yes. Are you connected to?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are not connected to their bodies at all. They're just kind of walking around like as if their body's like just carrying
On
around like a
autopilot.
backpack
Right,
and
Yeah.
just
because it
shoving
tastes
things
good.
in.
This
Yeah.
tastes good. There's some days where you're like, I need a vegetable. If I don't get
Yeah.
something living
Yeah.
in my body, I'm
Yeah.
going to be
Yes.
sick.
Yeah.
So you just have to
Yeah.
be like, what do I feel? Like,
Right.
how do I want to feel after
Yeah,
eating?
there's a lot of people getting great nutrition but no nourishment. So there's a lot of people eating the kale salads, the green smoothies,
Right.
going to yoga, but they're still not connected
They're
to
not
their
getting
bodies.
healthy fats.
Yeah.
They're
They're
not
not
getting.
like
yeah.
So it's not
nourishing
taking it in
themselves.
the way that
so
it
like
would.
you were saying about how like sometimes you love having pizza and wine and like I feel like that is nourishment for your soul. Sure, if you lived like that every day, you'd feel like crap and your body would be like,
Same with
hello,
if you drank
give
every
me a
day or-
vegetable,
Yeah,
right?
totally.
But like on the flip side, if you are eat these foods, get this result. Do this thing, get this goal. So women that are on controlling diets, so they're eating the right nutrition, like the science says, the nutritionists say that like, but they're not connected with their food, they're not connected with their bodies, there's no love, there's like the missing ingredient, right? It's like love and real nourishment. So it's all about like relaxing into a healthy relationship and knowing that this is the food that makes my body feel great, but actually this is the food that nourishes my soul and that I love, but it's not the food that I live off.
Yeah,
but it's the food
right.
that I love, and
And
I'm
today
allowed,
it's
like,
okay.
and
Today
it's
I'm going to
completely
indulge.
fine. Today I'm
Right.
gonna love
Absolutely.
it, and I'm gonna get over it straight afterwards. I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm not gonna bring it into the next day.
For anyone watching that is struggling with anything, any kind of eating disorders or lack of self-value, lack of self-respect, lack of self-belief, anything lack of yourself, is there anything you can say that would help from your experience and your insight?
Yeah, let's say somebody's in the thick of it right now. Like,
Yeah,
what
right this second, what could you
say?
say to help?
If loving yourself just seems like just so far out of reach, can you just be kind to yourself for one day? Like, can you just be kind to yourself and make some loving choices for yourself today? And
One
just
day.
be
Just one
your
day.
friend. Like that, you don't need to like start talking to your body in the mirror and doing all this stuff. Just be kind to yourself for one day. Make some kind choices for yourself. Just start with one day.
That's
And
a good
then-
challenge.
I
one
love
day.
that. Oh.
We could do anything for a day, right?
Right, one day. That's
In
it.
fact, I challenge you all to do that. I challenge everyone that's watching this, including
I like
us three,
that.
to do that for a whole day. You're so great. I love how much you appreciate yours and all your other goddesses. I love how much you appreciate the body.
Women
Yeah, I
need
love
to
it.
love and appreciate other women.
Agreed.
And I
Absolutely.
think that starts with when you love and appreciate yourself. The more you love and appreciate yourself, the more you stop judging yourself, the less you'll find yourself judging other women. As soon as you start loving and accepting yourself, you're just like, she's fucking beautiful, so is she, you're a goddess,
because
you're
you're
a
not
goddess,
threatened,
you're
because you're confident with
amazing,
your own
right?
self.
Exactly.
Therefore, you're not gonna be threatened. You look at
Which
other women
just
as
shows like
yeah,
your
other goddesses.
relationship with yourself is the
Self-love
foundation for every other relationship in your life. So don't try and fix your relationships without trying to work on yourself first, because your relationship with yourself is literally everything.
I love that. You just glow, by the way. I just
You
wanted
do.
to tell you, you
Thank you.
shine. You're so vibrant. You have shiny eyes, a beautiful bit. I just love it.
I know, I'm like
love
mesmerized. I'm just like,
Just like effortlessly, like
I know.
Yes, well, you
so
guys have to check
give
it
a
out.
shout out. Where can they find your website?
melwells.com,
Done.
or find me on
Yes.
Instagram at IamMelwells.
What a
You're
good
watching.
ep. I loved having you.
I
This
know.
is just, it feels so good. Thank you so much for coming on.
Anytime.
Yeah, literally, I'm going to hold you to that anytime.
Just come over, you know.
Awesome. All right, dream catchers, dreamers. We will see you next week.
We'll
Thank
catch
for
you next
watching.
week.
We'll catch you
That's
next
true.
week.
Thanks for watching.
Mwah.